Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to another episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name's Sean Wasserkrug, and today we're going to be reviewing a film that's been out for a couple weeks now, but is now available on video on demand for everyone around the U.S. who does not have a movie theater nearby, and that is the body-swapping horror film, Freaky. Now, for me personally, the first time I saw this trailer, I was 100% locked into this film. I was excited. Mainly because of the two leads. Personally, I've followed Catherine. I believe it's Catherine Newton. Basically, since her days on Supernatural, she's actually gotten a little bit bigger since then. She was on Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Big Little Lies. She's starting to grow as an actress, but I've been following her since the Supernatural days. So I was actually really excited when I saw that she was going to be the lead in this film. And then, of course, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is a comedian actor that I've always been a huge fan of, but he's really kind of fallen off over the last, I'd say almost the last decade. He really hasn't really done a whole lot. And so seeing him kind of coming back into his own comedic roles here really made me excited for this film overall. Body swapping movies, it's not anything we haven't seen before. It's not anything that the same beats from previous films, whether it be the Freaky Fridays or one of my personal favorite body swap movies. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's a personal enjoyment film for me, is Rob Schneider's The Hot Chick. With a body swapping movie, you're always going to have to go through the same beats and the same motions. For a film, it's whether or not that film can do something different and unique to grab you and make you like it above the same kind of film that we've seen over and over again. Like Palm Springs earlier this year with the whole Groundhog Day effect, or Happy Death Day, also with the Groundhog Day effect, but with a horror film, which is actually done by the same director who did Freaky, Christopher Landon. He directed Happy Death Day 2U, and also Freaky. Happy Death Day 2U, I remember personally being one of those movies that when I saw the trailer, I just did not like the way it looked. I didn't like the way it was selling me on the movie, but it was one of those movies that I eventually watched and grew to love. And Happy Death Day 2U, a lot of people are kind of wishy-washy on it. I liked what they did with it, and I'm excited if they ever make a third one. So coming into Freaky, seeing the leads with Catherine Newton and Vince Vaughn, and even the two co-leads, her friends. The trailer really left something of an excitement in me, and I was really hoping that it wasn't going to disappoint. Obviously, this movie came out on Friday the 13th, but with COVID and theaters shutting down and just it not being a really safe time right now to go out to theaters, I held back from seeing it, also mainly because of just work. Work has been crazy lately, and I just haven't had the time to do it. But once this movie became available with video on demand, I knew I was going to 100% watch it right away and get the review out to you guys as fast as possible. And I literally just got done watching this movie not even a half hour ago. So let's go ahead and jump into the review and tell you guys exactly what I thought of Freaky. The general plot of Freaky, like I said, like most body swapping movies, we have the main character of Millie, played by Catherine Newton. And basically, she is attacked by the Butcher, played by Vince Vaughn, and he uses a special knife that in the process switches their souls into the other body, and they have 24 hours to basically switch back, or they will be stuck in the other person's body forever, which obviously the Butcher likes that. I mean, that's one thing, too. That potentially is the Butcher, played by Vince Vaughn. He's a very towering figure. The opening scene of this movie, I thought, was done incredibly well to set the stage for how dangerous and terrifying Vince Vaughn's Butcher is. And it's a very Friday the 13th / Halloween kind of an introduction. I think they built Vince Vaughn's Butcher character up to be a very dangerous, menacing killer. And him actually being transferred to a small, petite, blonde girl in Millie actually proves its difficulties for the Butcher in the film, which is something that we normally see, like it's in Freaky Friday. It's like, oh, the mom is the daughter and the daughter is the mom. They have to live each other's lives. It's stressful and annoying. Or with Hot Chick, Rob Schneider body is in a hot chick, and which for her works perfectly. And then Rachel McAdams' character is in Rob Schneider's body. Whereas with this one, it's more he's having to get used to not being this towering, strong person, having to find different, unique ways to kill people as a young petite girl. And then, of course, the main problem for Millie is that she's stuck in a over 6 foot tall man's body who's also a serial killer. So the uniqueness factor of this, like I said, the main thing about a story that we've seen over and over and over again is, can you be unique and different from all the rest? And Freaky definitely does that with the whole like mask serial killer victim being body swapped. And one thing that really does work is the comedic tones of the movie. Vince Vaughn happily is back to his old comedic ways, kind of like how Jim Carrey was earlier in the was it this year? It was this year. Sonic the Hedgehog. It's been a very long year in 2020. The way Jim Carrey came back to his comedic tones in Sonic the Hedgehog earlier this year as Dr. Robotnik, Vince Vaughn feels like he's back to his old comedic ways here in Freaky. He looks like he's actually having a fun time playing the Millie character. And even when he's playing the Butcher character, it's something that we just have not seen from Vince Vaughn in quite a long time. And it's definitely a breath of fresh air to see him back to his old ways. Katherine Newton, I think she's a fantastic young actress who is going to grow and become bigger and bigger as she moves on. I like her charisma. I like just how her kind of like an Emma Stone-esque kind of. She's not quirky like Emma Stone, but she has that kind of just that one little thing that just makes her a little bit different than every other actress we see her age that I really like, and something you can grab onto and really fixate on towards her potential roles in the future. Her two friends, Nyla, played by Chelsea O'Connor, and Josh, played by Misha Oshervish. I'm probably butchering that name, and I apologize. They're also quite fun as well, especially, and that's also one of the big things with the body swap movies is the friends around the girl who's gotten switched. If they're not funny with the whole situation, that they're not going to work. Both these two work really, really well. And the one big thing also that a lot of people are probably worried about with Freaky is that it's a horror movie, but it's probably going to be PG-13-esque. It's not. It is definitely a hard R. It is very gory at moments. Very unique kills as well. There was a few kills in this movie that made me went, oh, all right, I've never seen that before. I like how you're going with that. So in terms of overall of this film, a lot of it works really well. You got great cast, you got great jokes, you got great horror aspects. And yes, you do have the same kind of beats of a body swap movie that we have seen before, but the uniqueness of it being a horror film with comedic tones works really well, just like it was with Happy Death Day with the Groundhog Day effect. And Blumhouse, once again, I think hits another home run for this. I think this is a movie that a lot of people are going to enjoy that maybe the trailer didn't sell them on. Like I said, Happy Death Day didn't sell me on the trailer. Freaky did, though. I think a lot of that's also because of Vince Vaughn. But I think it's one of those movies that just, if you go out of your way to go and see it, you will not be disappointed. I think you will enjoy the movie outright. And it's one that you guys are going to come back to kind of like a Happy Death Day. If you didn't like Happy Death Day, maybe you won't like Freaky. It kind of depends on, I guess, your taste in comedy and horror and stuff like that. But both those films worked, and Freaky definitely works for me. The rest of the cast around the main core cast of Freaky are pretty solid too. You got Alan Ruck, who plays one of the teachers. Yuri Shelton plays Booker, the boy that Millie likes. You also got Katie Finneran, who plays Millie's mom. Could they have gone a little bit more into some story of Millie's family, because there's some backstory there? Yes, but this movie is not trying to slow down its beats. It is trying to keep you brisk and on pace through the rest of the film to not let it linger too long. So is there some story elements that could have maybe been dug in a little bit more to make the overall story stronger? Absolutely. But they were not they. Wow, Southern accent really came through on that one. They're not the focus of the movie. The focus is Millie, the butcher, her friends, and trying to get their bodies back in their rightful bodies, I guess. Their souls back in their rightful bodies. So, yeah, there's some story elements that could have made it a little bit stronger, but ultimately the movie itself is fun. It's exciting. It's got the horror aspect that people are going to want. And like I said, two great leads in Catherine Newton and Vince Vaughn that you guys will surely enjoy. So definitely a highly recommend, whether it is in theaters, which you probably have already seen because it's been out for 2 weeks, or the video on demand. It is definitely one that I strongly suggest you guys check out because you guys will ultimately enjoy it. Going to my overall review, like I said, my reviews are not necessarily, is it a masterpiece of film, but is it a film that you're going to enjoy, have fun with, and something that you will maybe go back to and rewatch over the years to come. And with Freaky, I feel like that is one that I will definitely go back and revisit, just like the Happy Death Days. So I'm going to give Freaky an 8.9 out of 10. Like I said, other than just maybe some story aspects they could have made a little bit stronger with some certain supporting characters, I really liked everything that worked with Freaky, and I think you guys will too. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys feel like this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on Sean's Movie Crusades. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, that's kind of the thing. It's been about a month since the last video, since we did The Witches. It's not like there hasn't been some movies that have come out. There have been a good chunk, but they haven't just been movies that I felt like that you guys really would care about or watch. So I really haven't been kind of making my reviews for those said films. Now, obviously, there are some Christmas films that have come out over the past week or two that I will probably watch and I will probably shoot reviews for you. But for the most part, there's not really a whole lot of big movie reviews that will be coming out by year's end outside of Wonder Woman 84. Obviously, at the end of the year, we'll have your best films of 2020, which is frankly not going to be that great of a list, and your most disappointed and surprising. We will still do that like we've done the previous 2 years. It's just they're not going to be as many reviews coming through at least till the end of the year, or at least until they start figuring out what they're going to be doing with all the big top tier movies that we did not get in 2020 overall. I will say this though, at the start of the new year, there will be a new show that I will be starting to air here on the Crusaders channel. It's going to be with myself and my buddy Brian Michaels. I'm not going to tell you what the show is about just yet. You guys will just have to tune in and see, but it is definitely a show that we are very, very excited to bring to you guys. It's a weekly show that we will bring to you guys every week, and we hope you guys tune in. We hope you guys will be excited for it as much as we are to film it and debut it for you all. That'll be coming here in 2021. But for now, be on the lookout for any reviews that pop up. Definitely there will be a review around Christmas for Wonder Woman 84, and there might be some reviews that come up here shortly. If there's a movie that I watch that I feel like is worth acknowledging to you guys, that I will post a review for you. But until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.